Coach, Miami won both games at its rival,
Yes.
Ohio, this past weekend, outscoring the Bobcats 15-1. How does
Right.
Miami continue to impress you on the road?
Right. Just looking at our team right now, they're not just impressing me on the road, they're impressing me in general because we've played well the past few weeks, whether it be on the road or whether it be at home. So as far as that OU series is concerned, when you look at it, in 2 games, we outscored them 15-1. So, I was just impressed not only with just the way our team played, but how they played and how they were able to put all 3 parts of the game together. When I say that, the score's pretty indicative of we pitched it well, we played great defense, and the bats just did their job as we were able to manufacture a lot of runs. And OU I still think is a good team, but fortunately our kids were just ready to go. And I was just really proud of just the way they played the game. And anytime we can win a series against OU and come out on top in the Battle of the Bricks, it's always a good thing. So very pleased with our 2 wins this weekend at OU.
Your pitching staff was able to hold the Mac's highest scoring offense
Yes.
to just 1 run
Yep.
over those 2 games. How were the Miami pitchers able to hold off Ohio's offensive threat?
Right. When you look at OU, their strength is, and it still is, in my opinion, their offense, and especially in the top and the middle of the order, they've just got great hitters. And honestly, even when we were up big, we still had 2 pitchers in the pen warming up because I knew at any point in time if those guys caught any bit of offensive momentum, I knew what they were capable of doing. So I still have a lot of respect for them. As far as the way that our pitchers threw with Courtney and Bree, honestly, when you look at the stat line of strikeouts, we really didn't have as many strikeouts as we normally do. And in 14 innings, we only had 8, which is not very many compared to what those 2 have usually done. So with that being said, the ball was put into play a lot. And, I thought those 2, they did a good job as far as executing the game plan that we came into the game with. And they threw the best that they could that day. And honestly, we talked about it. I don't even think those 2 threw as well as they could, but they made the best of what they had that day. But again, just looking at it, 1 run, and they did a great job. But honestly, a lot of that had to do with our defense because the ball was being put in play a lot. So our kids they were just nails when it came to defense. And when I look at game 2 in that first inning, we go bases loaded with no outs, and they're in the middle of the order, and we defensively just have a strong stand and are able to get out of it. So I was happy to only allow, obviously, 1 run against OU, but kudos to our pitchers. But I also thought that our defense was just exceptional this weekend.
You take a quick trip to Northern Kentucky tomorrow for 2 out-of-conference games. What are Northern Kentucky's strengths?
Right. When you look at the stats, I think they're simply a team that just finds ways to win. I don't think they're a team that relies heavily on one part of their game. When I look at their pitching staff, they have 3 pitchers, but one of them seeing majority of the innings. Their ace, and she's doing fairly well. Defensively, they're doing a good job, and offensively, they've got a couple of kids who are going to run. I think they rely on production, probably more so from the top of the lineup. But for us, our kids actually have a day off today just because we were supposed to play yesterday. But we're going to be ready to go, and it's our first midweek game that we've had in a while. But I know that our kids are going to show up and going to be excited to get back out on the field and compete tomorrow.
Miami wraps up its regular season schedule at home this upcoming weekend, welcoming back the alumni and sending off the seniors. Yep. What are your thoughts about this weekend?
Yeah, it's going to be a big, busy weekend for us. Just starting with, obviously, we have Alumni Day coming up, and that's always an exciting time, and especially for our student athletes, because I know that they love when the alum are in the stands, and we're going to have several that are going to be cheering loud and proud for them. And I know I'm looking forward to it. My staff's looking forward to it. But more importantly, our kids are just excited to have them and have their support. And obviously, it's also Senior Day, as Saturday is our last home game. And Senior Day, it's always a bittersweet day. Because it's just a hard day. We'll be sending off 2 seniors this year with Johnny Enwall and Jenny Vasquez, and those 2 have just been great for our program, especially this year. And but most importantly, those 2 are just great people, and it's just been a pleasure to coach them for the years that I have. So it's going to be a big weekend. Obviously, we have Akron coming in. and it's going to be a series in which I don't think I'm going to have to get our kids motivated for. There's a lot of things at stake this weekend. This series is a very meaningful series to all of us, and I just know that our kids are going to be ready to go. They're going to be excited and just happy to have the opportunity to play Akron here in our hometown in front of our stands or in front of our fans. So I'm just looking forward to a good weekend here at home and closing the season out right.
Thank you. Good luck this week.